Hey everyone, George here, also known as Disney Family Man 23. And this is a spur of the moment decision to do this video, but I think this is definitely something that needs to be discussed because it was just announced today and it kind of took me by surprise with some of these things. Some good, some maybe not so good, depending on your point of view. We'll see. But joining me today is a very good friend of mine, also one of my co-hosts at part of the Grand Circle Tour podcast, Ms. Hollywood Crawford. How you doing?
Hello, I'm great. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad to have you on. This is your first time on my channel. This is
It is. I feel so special.
yes. All right, so I thought today that we'll get into the discussion of the IAAPA conference that went on today, or as I like to call it, the IAAPA, that that Parks Chairman Josh D'Amaro announced a plethora of information. And I think we should start off with one that we kind of knew already it was going to happen. We didn't know if it was going to, but we had an idea that the attraction Remy's Ratatouille Adventure for Epcot is going to be opening in 2021. No official date, no official month, just in 2021. So that narrows it down to 365 days.
Right. And you know that it's going to open because everyone keeps jinxing me the week after I leave because we only have one trip planned and that's at the beginning in January. And so I guarantee it's going to open right after that because I don't have anything else planned. And I've been dying for that attraction to open.
Yeah, it's going to be timed because I have a feeling that it's going to be in the very beginning of 2021. I don't know why, but
yeah.
I think it is actually. I hope not. I hope it's the week before instead of the week after.
Yeah, but so if you guys really want to ride this, then definitely go like January 15th, and you should be good because I'm going home on the 14th. So
yeah.
So sad.
Or it's one of those things where it'll be announced when we're already down there and we'll have our park passes set up. We have our reservations set up. So it's like when we're done there, it's like, oh shoot, now we got to rearrange the whole entire trip.
And I totally will. I would
too.
I will give up my Cinderella's Royal Table dining reservation to go to that for sure. So yeah, if that happens, I'm on board.
Yeah, definitely. I'm right there with you. And then another one is that I find it as a breath of fresh air that Disney is starting to test their fireworks again.
Yeah.
And I thought it was kind of funny, not funny, haha, but just a little bit of a tickle that when Disney says, we apologize for any inconvenience that this may bring to you.
Right.
Like, are you kidding me? Blast those suckers. I don't care.
Right. And most people that live in that direct area moved there for the fireworks. So I don't think they're going to get any complaints about that. Although they were pretty late. I think they were between 10 p.m. and midnight, but I'm sure nobody minded. I haven't heard of any complaints. Have you heard of anybody saying that they saw them?
I believe someone snapped, I think, a picture. I don't know,
okay.
But it was like kind of blurry, but you can kind of see like the flickering of like the fireworks in the distance. Yeah,
I know, and it's like, I don't know, it gives me some sort of peace when they're saying that they're testing because it's like, okay, good. They're talking about bringing stuff back because that's a big complaint right now that people are kind of bored in the parks because the lines are getting longer and there's no shows. And if you already ate, if you already shopped and you don't want to wait in a line for 45 minutes or an hour, what are you doing? I mean, you can people watch, but you can only do that for so long. So I'm really happy to see that they're talking about bringing the fireworks back and bringing shows back. So
yes, definitely. And as you mentioned, that was the other thing that I am so glad that D'Amaro announced this. But at the same time, it's sort of like this cat and mouse game that they just announced all these major cuts, and now they're going to say, okay, we're bringing it all back.
Like 3 weeks later, we all cried and like devastation, and then like mere weeks later, oh, we're bringing it back. Like, oh, no big deal. Like, we just broke your heart and broke up with you. And then, oh, but I'm going to take you back. I don't know. It's so
And I'm going to
weird.
actually kind of go off what Pete Werner was saying from the Diz Unplugged, that when he mentioned that obviously we knew there was going to be cuts, there was going to be
Hmm.
layoffs for the cast members. We didn't like it, but it was going to happen. With the 28,000, and then more happened. But I actually agree with Pete that I feel that the entertainment layoffs weren't even necessary. It shouldn't have
Right.
even been part of the layoffs.
Yeah, I agree, especially since they're talking about bringing it back so soon. And what about those? I always wonder, like, the ones that we've seen on that we go all the time, like the Finding Nemo show. I
Mhm.
mean, for instance, those are the same people that have been doing that show since the beginning. So they get their notice saying, oh, the show is done. Do they hold on for hope? Have they already gotten new jobs? I mean, I don't know, like what's happening with them because
And I really think that Disney kind of found out the hard way and said, "Oops, we made a big boo boo," because
uh-huh.
there's no way that they would announce all these layoffs and then 3 weeks later say, "Okay, it's coming back." I think
Right.
that they looked at it through the lens of what's going to happen in the future, and it's like, oh my gosh, what have we done?
Yeah. Well, they have to. That's what Disney is about. And just like, Stan says, he really could care less about the rides. He's all about the shows. And many, many people are like that. I'm right there in the middle, you
Well,
know?
and so am I. And what about the people that maybe have a disability or that goes to Disney that can't do the rides?
Right.
There's a lot of people that can't, so they look forward to the street performers. They look forward to
Hmm.
the live shows, the entertainment. And if you take all that away, but you're cutting the cast members, you're
Yeah.
cutting the entertainment, but you're not cutting the prices, you
Yeah.
know,
What do you have? You have an overpriced fare. I mean, really, obviously, it's not better done, but I mean, that's what makes it Disney. The magic, all the little extras. Like you said, just walking down Main Street and you have the performers right there. Just, I don't know. So that's what makes it so magical. And yeah, and how can you keep the same prices? It's absurd to have those same high prices. And they're talking about raising them again because of all the losses. Well, you can't raise them when you took away all the extras.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Now, what I am very curious about is now I'm not sure. Did they specifically announce what shows are returning? Is it all of them at once? They didn't.
They just said, from what I saw, that the shows are coming back. And I didn't get like a date or what shows or,
But it does
I,
make me curious because being when I went down there this past October, they used a lot of the show cues as extra lines to fill in
right.
for the attractions. Like for instance, for I think it was Kilimanjaro Safaris, they used the Festival of the Lion King cue for Kilimanjaro Safaris. They used
Yeah.
Finding Nemo the musical for Expedition Everest. So
Right.
it makes me wonder that when they reopen those shows, where are they going to put all these people?
Yeah, there's
And
so many unknowns, really, because I mean, maybe they're going to bring, I don't know, because are we really, how much longer are we going to do the 6 feet apart? Because those lines are crazy, especially with no fast passes. And I know that you had mentioned something about you heard that they were talking about bringing fast passes back.
I
And I
heard,
hope that's
yeah,
true.
I heard that it was sometime in December that they were going to bring
Yeah.
the fast. Now, if they do bring the fast passes back, then that would make more sense because you're taking that extra room and putting it in the fast pass line. Now, that's just like with Ratatouille. When they put
Right.
up the line, they got the standby line, they got the fast pass line, and they even got a single rider line for Ratatouille.
Yeah. Which is smart. I don't know. Yeah. It's crazy. I don't know where everybody's going to go, especially with the capacity keep, it keeps increasing. So we're at 35% right now. And I think they can go all the way to 50, right? I think
I
the
think,
state of
and
Florida is allowing
I
50.
even think that they said during the holidays they're going to try to push for 40.
Okay. Yeah, so they are allowed more. I think they're just trying to keep it lower for to make guests feel comfortable. And because where are they going to put them?
But
Like you
as
said,
they
the
keep
line.
but as they keep rising the percentage, they're gonna have to kind of maintain the physical distancing, because the more
Yeah.
people you have there, you can't have a line from Main Street to ride Big Thunder.
Right. Yeah. I mean, even for food, you were saying, even I know that the mobile ordering, you can cruise around or whatever, but you can only go so
You
far and
know,
you can't do so much.
Pico's Bill, there was
Hmm.
getting a cluster of people
Yeah.
waiting for their order, and I'm thinking, there's more people just standing around here than if they were to just let people in and
Open
stand
the
in
line.
the line.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I wonder if they're going to be changing that soon too, to allow for both mobile ordering and standing in line, but 6 feet apart. But at least you have more people in the queues for food. I don't know. There's,
I would say that have a certain percentage to actually go in line to order. Once
yeah.
that percentage fills up, then whoever's left over can use the mobile ordering.
Hmm. Yeah, they have a lot to think about. Definitely. Um,
Now,
I don't know.
on your side, on your neck of the woods for Disneyland, we all pretty much knew this was coming, but I think what was the shocker was the time frame of the year. So
Hmm.
they said that Disneyland will not open until 2021. But the kicker of this whole entire thing, that I think everybody's eyes bulged out and the jaws dropped, was for June or summer
Yeah,
of 2021.
so crazy. And as I was telling you, so today they just had a press release, and Orange County, which is where Disneyland is, just went to the purple tier, which is the worst tier that you can be in, which now limits restaurants to be outside only, so that all those restaurants in downtown Disney that have been functioning both inside and outdoors are, even though it's only 25% indoors, but that still shifts it. Everybody has to go outdoors. And well, today it was almost 90 degrees. So luckily the weather is still nice for to eat outdoors. But that also is going to make some changes for the upcoming Buena Vista Street that's opening this week, which is really exciting, at least some glimmer of light there. But so that takes away a couple of the restaurants there that we're planning on opening indoors as well. So I don't know. Yeah, I originally had heard the first quarter of 2021. And then today, when I saw summer, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I just can't. I don't know. I mean, 2020, you just are like, oh, what else? What else? Like, you're just kind of used to all the bad news. But wow.
But I mean, even if it is summer 2021, that's still practically half the year of 2021. By the time
Yeah.
everything starts getting back up, 2021 is going to be over. So you might as well should just plan a vacation for 2022.
I know. And then I can't help but wonder, what are they doing with all the pass holders or
See,
all the
now,
tickets?
that's even like with me. Now, I have a Premier Passport that covers
Right.
both, well, Disney World and Disneyland. I spoke with the pass holder team, and they told me that I would have my 4 months or what have you coming to me once the resort
Yeah.
opens. But depending on what the state of California is going to entail, I'm an East Coaster. If they decide to open up the resort and say, hey, Californians only,
Right. And that's what they've been talking about.
and I'm losing my 4 months, I'm not going to be able to use it. And then I thought, well, maybe I can at least get partial of a refund. But with my pass, I can't cancel unless I cancel Disney Worlds.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. So, I mean, for me, we purchased our annual passes 3 weeks before they closed. And, we're on the monthly payment plan. So obviously that's been stopped, but there's 6 of us. So we had to put a big chunk down as a down payment. And I'm fine just leaving it because I know whenever they open, we're going to be right back. And I'm not really worried about getting that money back. But maybe after 2 years, I might want my down payment back. I don't know.
Well, it makes me wonder that if it's going to hit almost a year and a half, that they'll have to reimburse all those pass holders. Is Disney really going to go through that hassle
Yeah.
and confusion? I wonder if they'll just kind of like wipe their hands of it, give everyone their refunds back, and kind of start over with the annual passes.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a really huge question, especially if, like you said, they're
And
going to
what's
be
even
closed for that
scary is
long.
Disney doesn't even know yet because they
Yeah,
don't even have answers for us.
right.
Usually, Disney, they're kind of sticklers with giving out information. It's like where they know, but they
Yeah,
like to wait. But I think at this point, they don't even know what lies ahead
right.
as far as the annual pass
And
holders.
I know that when I saw the notice go out last week that they were canceling all reservations up until December 31st, I'm like, even that hurt. And I already knew that, but I still was hoping, like, please get us in there December. But I don't know. The only way that that would happen is if they can sue the pants off of Newsom and somehow get in there, because it's just unfair. It's so unfair for Disney, for all these parks in
Yeah,
California compared to
I
the
mean,
rest of the
it's
United States.
really the state of California right now is really, really suffering, and then not even knowing what we're going to be going into for this next year. It's
Yeah.
what on top of it is it going to happen? Because even now with even the cruise line is starting to move forward. Disney announced that they have the official years. I mean, they got delayed, which we kind of expected that
Obviously. Yeah.
the new ships, the Disney Wish, will set sail in 2022, and then its sister ships in 2024 and 2025. And they're still working on the logistics to get the cruise line
Hmm.
fleet back up, but you could at least see the progress that's happening
Right.
with Disneyland. It's like a complete standstill.
Yeah. There's no answers. We have no answers at all. I know it's so sad. It just, I don't know. It's the weirdest feeling to be this close to have annual passes and know that it's closed.
But yet it's so far. It's like you're the closest,
Yeah.
but it's like the farthest from.
Yeah. It's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
So I am excited about Buena Vista Street, just to go in there and shop. And it obviously is not anywhere near the same thing, but it's something. And I'm glad that they're doing that. And it would be nice if they would do the same thing for Main Street. And maybe they'll see how it goes with this. And I honestly don't know what the holdup is, why they can't do it on Main Street, and why they've been able to do Downtown Disney and now Buena Vista Street. But we'll see. Maybe it will work out really well, and then they can open that. I mean, I don't see why they can't. Knott's Berry Farm has been doing it, and doing really well with that. So doing the tastings and
Well, I do know
different.
in the very beginning, Bob Chapek had mentioned that if it's not going to be enough for us to make a profit, then we'd rather not do it at all. Which,
Yeah,
as a business standpoint, I understand that. But I think now Disney is just at the brink of, we have to do something. We have to
yeah.
make some sort of financial
But
gain.
everybody is so hungry for it that everyone's going to go in there and buy everything and eat everything. I mean, everyone is so hungry for this that
No,
I
they
don't see
said
how they're
they're going
going
to
to
have
make
the
money.
red car trolley, correct? The red car trolley's coming back. Now, is
Yeah,
it
uh-huh.
they keep having the whole entire Buena Vista Street open?
Yeah, it's supposed to open all the way down to the little hub there, and then even the award wieners are supposed to be opened, and then the churro cart right there is supposed to be opened, and then right down in front of Soren, the Smoke Jumpers restaurant is supposed to be open. So that whole area is supposed to be opened. So
Nice.
that's a pretty large area, and I'm very excited for the Fluffernutter churros. Um, so yeah, there's a lot that I'm just really excited for. And I saw today that they started decorating. Christmas decorations have come in, and yeah, the trolleys out there, which love that. Missed the show, but so that's nice that they're doing some of those things, that they don't have to do that because people are going to go even without the Christmas decorations. But I'm really happy to see that they're doing
Yeah,
doing that.
I mean, just another part of Disney's, full on customer service even without the customers being there. It's like
Yeah,
Disney knows that they're not going to have no guests in there for the holiday season besides with Buena Vista Street, but to still take that extra time and effort
right.
to put up all those decorations just so the resort is.
Yeah, because people are going over there, and even that they're walking past downtown Disney and they're crying at the gates of Disneyland. You can't get very close, but they're over there and they're taking pictures and selfies of saying how much they miss it. And so people are going over to
I
that area.
guarantee you, it may even happen with Buena Vista Street, but I guarantee you, the day that Disneyland reopens, I guarantee you, with every turnstile that every person goes in, if someone were to turn on a camera, there would probably be not
Yeah.
one dry eye.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm definitely going to be one of them. That's for sure. Even I've gone periods of time where I haven't had an annual pass, but this is so different because I knew that any day I could say, "Oh, I'm going to go buy a ticket and go for the day." So it's, I don't know, just a yucky feeling. I don't like it.
And I've said
But
this constantly, and I'll keep on saying it. I'm sorry, Disney was ready to reopen Disneyland on July 17th. It's
yeah, and we were ready. I was ready. I'm like, yes, I'm looking at my blockout dates, trying to plan it. And yeah, everybody was ready. They were ready. And it's devastating that we're here now looking at almost a whole year from when they were originally going to open.
yeah,
But we still have hope that
yes.
there can be some sort of lawsuit, or maybe that
Well, I think that
vaccine.
I
Sorry, rolled my eyes with
yeah,
that
I saw it. Yeah,
vaccine.
I saw I saw it. I saw it. I'm right. I'm right there with you because I mean, look how even far Disney World has gone, and even with the first steps of a possible lawsuit that you know of what I've heard, a judge threw out the claim of any more executive orders
Yes. Yeah,
taken forth. So I mean, that's on a good step.
exactly.
So who even knows? Disney may be pushing to the farthest to
I
not
hope so.
really give people up their hope, but who really knows? It may come sooner. I'm hoping it comes
Yeah,
soon.
I mean, they've kind of mentioned, like, in the passing of, I mean, they're very vocal about how unhappy they are with everything going on in California. So, I mean, I see articles all the time that they're not happy. And so, yeah, we don't know what they could be doing behind the scenes. And you never know. So, I mean, and I hope so. I hope if they're not doing it, I hope Legoland is doing it, or Six Flags, or Knott's, or maybe they're all getting together. I don't know, but I
They
hope
really
that,
should. I think honestly, if Disney, Universal, Legoland, Knott's, if they were to all band together,
yeah,
and I really think then, I mean, even with the small intimate protests that went on outside of Disneyland, the gates of the resort. I mean,
yeah,
they did it nicely. They stated their point, but I mean, that
yeah,
should be telling people we want to go back in,
right,
open up the gates.
yeah. And like you said, it was very pleasant. They were actually in their little circles. They were all 6 feet apart. It was very nice.
And I honestly I say what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Right.
Disney is one unified company. If Walt Disney World can open successfully, so can Disneyland.
Yep.
There's no difference. There's no.
I, I agree. Been saying this all along, but anyways.
So,
Uh,
was there anything else that was announced at the?
yeah, so there was, and I posted it on our Grand Circle Tour page, but there was a pretty cool like ad or commercial or promotion or whatever you want to call it, and it went over all the upcoming attractions. Did you watch that?
No, I didn't. I didn't watch
It
that.
was really cool. It went over every single park and every attraction that's coming out, and they gave like a glimpse of it, or like some of the new rides they actually showed it working. And so that was really motivating and really exciting, and happy to see all the stuff that they're putting out in the midst of all this.
I'll have to check
So
that out. And you said you
yeah,
posted on the
on
ticket
our
link.
Yeah, Honor Grand Circle. Yeah, on
Cool.
the
So
ticket,
everyone
magic ticket.
listening, definitely go over to Facebook and search in the search bar the Grand Circle Tour Podcast Magic Ticket Holders page and check out that video because I'm definitely going to check it out.
Yeah, it's really, like I said, it makes you happy because you see all the things. And then another thing that they talked about today, and I'm gonna probably butcher this because I am not a Star Wars person, but the Star Wars Galactica Hotel. Did you
I
see
think
that
it.
they
I
posted?
think it's good. I think it's just galactic.
Okay,
Galactic.
see, no, sorry, Star Wars fans, but so actually that looks pretty cool. So they actually showed pictures of that today because before it was just like the renderings, but today they actually showed what the rooms look like, and
I
that's
was
the
actually really surprised with that one because I thought that would have been one of the projects that would have got axed from the beginning.
oh for
I'm really
sure, yeah,
surprised that that went forth. But then again, I mean, if people pay the money to do that
yeah, and
experience,
I guarantee that I can't even imagine how much that's going to cost because it's a whole 2 day thing, which I mean, like I said, I'm not a Star Wars fan, but even that sounds pretty cool. Like anything that's like set up for 2 days to do all these activities, I don't know. It sounds pretty fun to me.
well, and we all know that our very own Grand Circle Tour podcast, Stan Solo, will probably be one of the first ones in there because he'll be adjacent. He'll be actually staying at the Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground in a camper because he would then have sold his house, living in a trailer, to be able to go into the Star Wars Galactic Cruiser. So
Right, right. So yeah, so that was pretty cool. I bet I know a lot of Star Wars fans were really excited to actually see real photos of that. Um, so yeah, that's what I had. Oh, and then something you said Splash Mountain too. They mentioned
yeah,
Splash
that
Mountain.
that was the other one, which I actually um, I knew that they were still gonna, go forth with the retheming of Splash Mountain, just like with everything that's going on in society and everything. And Disney wants to be more current, more relevant, and up to date with things and everything. So, but there's one thing that kind of startles me a little bit is the way when Josh Damaro says we're speeding up the process to get it done.
Hmm.
I do understand it in some way, but I don't want them to rush it where it's so generic and it's badly
Not done right.
yeah.
Yeah. Because they were saying 5 years. What does rush mean? Does that mean a year? Does rush mean 2 years? It mean 3 years? But yeah, because it was supposed to be, I think, 5 years for him to get this done.
Yeah.
And that's a huge project because we know Disney, they're not just going to paint it and change out some characters. They're going to have to make it the real thing. So yeah, that is a good question.
The
Yeah,
only
what
thing
is
that I
rush
can
it?
think of is they got a lot more done than what they really led on. And it's
Right,
basically done, and they just kind of stretched it out to 5 years. But maybe if they have everything done, then they can move forward. But I just don't
right.
want them to just put up screens
Yeah,
with the music and then call it a day.
yeah.
I mean, if they're going to really immerse us into the Princess and the Frog, then I want to see new animatronics. I want to see
Oh
new
yeah.
special effects. I want to see even
I'm
powder
expecting it
puff.
to look be like Frozen, like that caliber, but even better because it's newer.
Yes, and especially well now that unless probably maybe since Disney has a deadline for Disneyland to reopen, maybe that they're trying to push the deadline further. So being that the resort's going to be closed to then retheme Splash Mountain so it'll be open when Disneyland reopens.
Maybe, but that's a big
I mean,
one.
that's pushing it.
Yeah.
That's
I would rather, I mean, obviously I would rather them do other things that need to be done, little things here and there, like when they're redoing some of the dark rides in Fantasyland, like that kind of thing that they can be doing right now. But once again, we go back to money, you
yeah.
know.
But that's also what surprised me too was I thought with the money situation that this would have been put on hold because
Right.
they announced this right as the shutdown was happening.
Mm-hmm.
So now that they're putting a rush on it, and with the short amount of money that they have to play with, so to speak, is this going to be a generic redo.
Better not be. That would be so disappointing.
I
My
don't
goodness.
think Disney would do that, especially to the fans, because
Yeah.
that's such a beloved attraction. It's a classic attraction, and I really,
Right.
I mean, they got a lot of backlash either way, one way or the other. So I think they would even get an even bigger beating if they didn't
Yeah.
with this
And
attraction.
this is Tiana's only shot, so they have
Yeah,
to make her well represented as well. So
absolutely.
because they need the sales from all that merchandise. So they have to make it good to
So
where people are going to want to buy it.
So I'm not going to say if, I'm going to say when Disney pulls this off, and if they can actually get everything together within that amount of time, then they they're already even more geniuses than what they already are, because I mean, to then pull something off in that short amount of time, then
Right. But they just announced it. However, they were saying that they had already made the decision over a year ago. So they could have a lot done if they
Mhm.
had already made the decision over a year
Right.
ago, but didn't announce it.
If they already made the decision but they didn't announce it to the public, they could have had the whole storyline set out. They could have even had the animatronics made by then.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, so with Disney, anything's possible. So
Right. I mean, so that's exciting now. I know that it was a shock and I know we were all upset, but now it will be exciting to have something new and refreshing and fun because, that's a fun movie. But now that I think we're kind of over
yeah,
the shock of it, but so that's something to look forward to, I think.
it's kind of because Splash Mountain is still one of my favorite attractions
Yes.
at a Disney park. But being that I went on it this past October, I went on it twice. And if I get the opportunity to ride it again in January, I hope so. It's still open by
Right.
then. But after riding it, it was like, okay, at least I know I got my feel that
Right.
if it was to close tomorrow, I got to ride it.
Yeah. I know. But that would be sad if they did that to Disneyland because we didn't get a goodbye at Disneyland.
That is true. That's
So
right.
if
That's right.
yeah. So there was
Whoever was
no
whoever
goodbye
was in
party.
there the last day before it shut down, whoever got to ride Splash Mountain, that technically was their final ride.
Yeah. And what's crazy is that I knew that it was closing because they had announced, oh, we're going to close for a couple weeks or whatever. And I said to my husband, should we go? And I'm like, no, we just spent like 4 days in a row there. I'm good. I'm like,
Now
why didn't I go on that last day?
well,
But
because
anyway,
it went from 2 weeks to possibly almost hitting 2 years. I mean,
yeah,
that's a major jump.
I know. I always say, oh, how's that 2 weeks to slow that curve going? It's going
And
pretty
it's
well,
even
right?
like with Orange Grove 55, that when he said, definitely check out his channel, everyone, Orange Grove 55, great
Hmm.
Disney content. He said he found it so kind of funny, ironically, that Governor Newsom said in the very beginning of the shutdown, I'm just going to let Disney do what they want to do. If they want to close, close. If they want to open, open.
Yes.
And then when they were ready to reopen, it was like kablam. It's like,
Do you know how often I think of those exact words? I probably thought of that yesterday and thought, man, I bet Disney is kicking themselves in the butt for doing the right thing and
yeah,
closing because who would have known what could have happened if they didn't do the right thing and close. So I know I always think about that. Like they're like, oh, we're gonna go ahead and do the right thing and close. And but just as he said, Disney is a special entity. They don't have to abide by the regular regulations of this because it's a completely different entity. Like, and wait, where's that now? Like,
yeah. It's
oh,
like, okay. Uh,
yep.
it's like one
Anyway,
of those things. It's just like you don't know like which way to take it, and it's like, yes, we all want to, we try to do the best that we can, but as Walt Disney himself, and I quote him, we keep moving forward.
yes.
And that's what we need to do. And that's what the company needs to do. We have to keep moving forward. And I really do hope that everything will start coming into place because I'm possibly looking forward to them having the D23 Expo in 2022 for the 100th anniversary of the
Yeah.
company. So I'm
I've never been, but I am going to make it a point if they have it to go, because it's crazy that I'm right here so close and I've never been. Even my husband's like, I can't believe you've never been to that. So yeah, I
it's really
definitely
fun.
need to go.
It's really fun.
Hmm.
We should do that.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks a lot of fun.
Yeah. So
Well,
was there anything else on the
I think that's all I had, but yeah, definitely go back and watch that, like I said, promotion for the upcoming attractions, because it was really happy. So we need some of that.
Yes, we need more of the positive for Disney.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
honestly, a lot of this information that came out today definitely gave me a much bigger glimmer of hope for the company.
For sure.
Because for me, aside from Disneyland staying closed and possibly reopening in the summer of 2021, God, I hope not. That um other than that, it was all great news. And really, who's even to say if that was just Disney giving their extensive amount rather than
Mhm.
say, okay, we're going to be opened in January or February, and it really doesn't come
Right. Because we've
fruition. Then
already been there. We've
yeah,
already been
right.
so
So I
disappointed.
think maybe Disney pushed it further so that way, if they do open up sooner, it's like, okay, well, let's do this. You know?
Right. Because I think that even though that they're projecting that, if they said, if California said they could open tomorrow, they would open tomorrow.
Oh,
It's
definitely.
just, they're just forecasting what they're thinking California is doing. So
Yeah. But as far as like all the entertainment coming back, the fireworks being tested, the new
yeah,
attraction opening, I think this is the percentage of Disney with their capacity. I think they're moving forward as Walt always said, and I think they're moving in the
yeah,
right direction.
I agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good news
So
today.
yeah, definitely. But I appreciate you coming
Yeah,
on
thank
with
you.
me today to discuss this. I definitely want you back on more. We'll have a lot more conversations and
I'll
everything.
have to come on when I go to Buena Vista Street and report back
Yes,
about that.
definitely. Yes, yeah, we'll definitely make that a thing. So everyone, look out for that. And if you happen to be in the area, definitely go check out Buena Vista Street. However, wait till Holly gets back because if you all go, you don't want to have a big mad rush of a line, and she's not going to be too happy about that. So, so on that note, thank you for joining me, and remember, everyone, stay safe, stay healthy, stay Disney. Bye, everybody.
Bye.